Hello there. Welcome to our Soul Where They Love podcast. And today we are on love line number 3, which is real love is intense.
Intense.
So we want to clarify the difference between infatuation and connection. So let's talk about this. We were talking about how great narcissists people are.
Narcissism. Now we have National Narcissism Day, which is unbelievable that we have a day. But if we're seeing a lot of it because social media, the whole selfie kind of generation, and you start to wonder, people are banding around that term. But for anybody who has been exposed to narcissistic partners or relationships or something, you'll know that the dopamine rush you get from being love bombed, right? Oh, the flowers, the trips, the romance is so amazing until it's not. Because then you're going to go up and down and up and down. And it's like a drug, right? And it's...
Apparently infatuation is as strong as heroin.
Yeah.
It stimulates you the same way. And this is something that I've seen so much, especially if we grew up. Some of us grew up in a family where it was fighting all the time. And so we associate love with the fighting. And when there's no fighting, you think it's boring.
Yeah.
Actually.
And also, depending on your background, right?
Yes.
Where you came from, where I was Italian.
I'm French Canadian and Italian. So
they had a different set of skills
yes.
to communicate. And you're right about that,
So we associate this intensity with what love should be.
Right.
But actually, when you have true love, it's peaceful and it's not boring. It's so different. Like when I was younger, I was super passionate, and that's what, when you want true, sexual energy, passion, attracting the bad boys or the unavailable person is the best way to feel this big high, this rush that comes. Why? This is how I explain. It's like everything, is energy. So let's say this is you. And this is your partner. When we are infatuated with somebody, it's like we end up wanting to be together all the time. We give up on ourselves to be with the other person. And this is not sustainable. This always leads to this. Now you have a big fight. It's not working. So now you can have make-up sex that now brings you back like this until you start losing it. So this is what we do. That's why if you want to have a...
But that's what leads to boring.
Yes.
When people strip themselves, and women typically, because I was kind of two generations, very traditional, and yet I was out contemporary working, you strip yourself of your personal, what are your interests? When I was first single, I remember going to basketball games and listening to the music I grew up on, rap, and my kids would look at me, Mom, who are you? I'm like, oh, guess what? I was this person. I stripped all of that away. And someone asked me, what do you do? What are your hobbies? I'm like, well, my hobbies were bringing my kids to all the hobbies I would have loved to do, but I didn't do as a woman. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what becomes boring, is you strip yourself, but you don't realize it.
Because when you're infatuated, you actually need the person. Again, when we are infatuated, we need that person. We don't love that person, we need that person. So that's when we're willing to give up on ourselves. So we make sure that this being we want is there. So we're not going to lose it. And sometimes, culturally speaking, if for you define yourself as a certain mother, that can be an infatuation also. It's like, for
sure,
me to
that's
be
your purpose. You have to give up all that.
You have to give up, because then you can be this super powerful mom that can take care of everybody.
Yeah.
And now you give up on yourself instead of really understanding. This is why I created a definition of love. And love is wanting the best for another being while respecting your needs.
I love that definition, actually.
And I'm going to repeat it again. Love is wanting the best for another being while respecting your needs. Because if you do that, like if you're a mom, you're going to want the best for them for sure. but you're also going to make sure you're important. And if you don't, you get cranky, you get tired, you also,
and also not hurting another person because of your needs. Because you feel you need to see somebody 5 times a week. That's your compulsion, right?
To be a good mom, this is what I need to do. To be a good partner.
Yeah, right. And another thing that you talk about a lot is, other than canceling yourself out, there's, in a relationship, somebody has the fear of being engulfed.
Which is often the woman. Like, if you are in a relationship and you give up on yourself, then you feel engulfed. You are not there anymore. And that's also why sex goes away. Like, if you give up on yourself, already giving too much of yourself to the other person, they want to touch you. It's like, stay away from me, like right now.
Or it could be vice versa. I've seen men that are engulfing women that won't let them, move, so to speak. That insecurity that if she goes out and becomes more independent, or if she goes somewhere like...
But that creates tension and drama again. And if she gives into that, then she becomes resentful. And a relationship like this will never work out. So when you're in a relationship, really remember, love is wanting the best for the other person while respecting your needs. Make yourself important, because if you don't make yourself important, you are infatuated. And then they're going to take you on a roller coaster ride, because when they give in to you, you're going to be happy. But when they get busy with their own stuff, now you're going to be unhappy. And you're going to go on this roller coaster ride that feels really intense and it's passionate. And so many people are afraid of being bored. But that's because the only reason you're going to be bored if you're in a loving relationship is if you're not challenging yourself to give your heart what it wants. You need to challenge yourself to bring the best. When you're busy bringing the best out of yourself, it's fun to have a partner that's quiet with you. You don't need the drama to take you away from what your heart is going to...
It's that yin and yang thing that you talk about. It's that balance. And you know what? It takes work, like we talked about in the previous episodes, that part of maintaining in a relationship, some excitement or whatever, is working on it too. Like I had read an article once that if you talked about work all the time with your partner, every dinner, every night, gosh, put a needle in my eye, right? Like read an article. If you know that you're gonna have dinner, have certain rules. I used to have a rule, no talking about business at dinner. And you know what?
But that's why it's important. Like, you have 8 areas of your life. So if you want to fulfill yourself, there's spiritual, there's mental, knowledge, there's social, familial, career, financial, physical, and your environment. When you're busy, not just with your partner, trying to get happiness from your partner, and you're actually busy working on everything else, you're happy that you're not glued together at the hip all the time. So this is it for our third lie, which is real love is intense. It doesn't have to be intense. It's actually beautiful when it's beautiful and quiet. I'm just so grateful for it. I really wish it on everybody. If you enjoyed this episode, please like it, follow us, and share it with other people. And if you want to find out more about us, we have a beautiful webinar that you can come and sign up for. That's it for now.